Sometimes, life breaks you so silently that you don't even hear the sound. You might be standing in the spotlight, surrounded by applause, yet feel an overwhelming darkness creeping in. It's a paradox that many don't understand. How someone who seems to have it all can feel so lost inside. Take Demi Lovato, for example. She rose to fame at a young age, capturing hearts with her voice and charisma. But behind that dazzling exterior, there was a struggle that few could see. The pressure to maintain perfection, the weight of expectations, and the relentless scrutiny of the public can be suffocating. It's easy to forget that even stars can feel broken. Demi's journey is a testament to resilience. She faced her demons head-on, battling addiction, mental health issues, and the stigma that often surrounds them. It wasn't an easy path. There were moments of despair that threatened to overshadow her light. Yet, in those darkest times, she found the strength to fight back. Her story is not just about survival, it's about transformation. Demi learned to embrace her vulnerabilities, turning them into sources of strength. She became an advocate for mental health, using her voice to inspire others who might feel alone in their struggles. Through her journey, she showed that it's okay to not be okay and that asking for help is a sign of courage, not weakness. Demi's comeback is powerful. It's a reminder that even after the hardest falls, we can rise again, stronger and more authentic than before. Her journey teaches us that true self-worth comes from within, not from the applause of others. If you've ever felt broken, alone, or lost, remember that you're not alone. There's a light within you waiting to shine, just like Demi discovered in herself. I was born on August 20th, 1992, in Albuquerque, New Mexico. From a young age, I was always drawn to music and performance. I was that kid who would sing in the living room, putting on shows for my family. But behind that bright smile, life was already throwing some heavy challenges my way. My dad struggled with addiction, and my parents divorced when I was just a little girl. Those early years were tough. I faced bullying at school that cut deep, and it got so bad that I had to switch to homeschooling. It felt isolating at times, but it also opened up a world of creativity for me. Music became my sanctuary. It was my escape from the pain and confusion. At just 7 years old, I was already acting and singing, and I landed a role on Barney and Friends. I remember the excitement of being on set, surrounded by other kids who loved performing just as much as I did. It was a magical experience that ignited my passion even further as I grew older. I poured my heart into my craft. I would spend hours practicing, writing songs, and dreaming of a future where I could share my voice with the world. Each note I sang felt like a step toward healing, a way to express everything I was going through. The journey wasn't always easy. There were moments of doubt and fear, but I learned to channel those feelings into my music. I wanted to tell my story, to connect with others who might be feeling lost or alone. I realized that vulnerability could be a strength, and through my art, I could inspire others to embrace their own struggles. Every audition, every performance, was a chance to show the world who I was. I remember the nerves before stepping on stage, but once the music started, everything else faded away. It was just me and the song. I wanted to make people feel something, to let them know they weren't alone in their battles. Looking back, I see how those early experiences shaped me. They taught me resilience and the power of self-expression. Music became not just a passion but a lifeline, connected me to others and gave me a voice when I felt voiceless. Today, I carry those lessons with me. I'm proud of where I've come from and the journey I've taken. Each song I write is a piece of my story, a reflection of the struggles and triumphs that have defined me. And I hope that through my music, I can continue to inspire others to find their own voices and share their stories. Disney was my ticket to the world. I remember the excitement of stepping onto the set of Camp Rock, feeling like I was living a dream. The lights, the cameras, the fans screaming my name, it was intoxicating. Sunny with a Chance came next, and suddenly, I was everywhere. Red carpets, world tours, and the thrill of performing for thousands. It seemed like I had it all. But behind the glitz and glamour, I was fighting a battle that no one could see. The pressure to look perfect was suffocating. Every magazine cover, Every social media post felt like a reminder that I had to be flawless. I was just a kid, but I felt like I was constantly being judged, compared to others who seemed to have it all together. At just 11 years old, I developed an eating disorder. It started as a way to cope, a misguided attempt to gain control in a world that felt overwhelming. By 17, I was in a dark place, struggling with depression and self-harm. I felt like I was trapped in a cycle of never being enough. I would smile on red carpets, posing for photos, but inside, I was crying myself to sleep every night. The disconnect was painful. I was living a life that many would envy, yet I felt so alone. I wanted to scream for help, but I was terrified of what people would think. The fear of judgment kept me silent, and I wore my smile like a mask. Took time, but I learned that vulnerability is not a weakness. I started to share my story, to let others know that it's okay to struggle. Fame can be a double-edged sword. It can lift you up, but also bring you down. I realized that true strength comes from being honest about your pain and seeking help. Now, I embrace my journey, with all its ups and downs. I've learned that it's okay to not be okay, and that healing is a process. I'm still a work in progress, but I'm no longer afraid to show my true self. The journey continues, and I'm ready to face it head-on. I remember the moment everything changed. The lights were bright, the crowd was roaring, and I was on top of the world. But beneath that glittering surface, darkness was creeping in. As my fame skyrocketed, so did my battles. I felt like I was living in a whirlwind, and the only way to cope was to numb the pain. Drugs and alcohol became my escape, my way of silencing the chaos in my mind. At just 18, I found myself in a situation I never thought I would be in, punching a backup dancer during a tour. It was a moment of rage, a moment of desperation. I knew I needed help, so I checked myself into rehab. That's when I received my diagnosis: bipolar disorder. Finally, there was a name for the storm that raged inside me. It was both a relief and a burden. I thought treatment would be the answer, that I could finally find some peace. But the reality was far more complicated. I fought hard, but the relapses came. Again and again. Each time, it felt like I was falling deeper into a pit of despair. The powerful voice that captivated millions was hiding a soul that was silently drowning. I wore a mask of confidence, but inside, I was terrified. The headlines painted a picture of success, but they didn't show the sleepless nights or the battles with my own mind. I was trapped in a cycle of highs and lows, feeling like I was on a roller coaster I couldn't get off. I wanted to be strong, to rise above it all, but the weight of my struggles was suffocating. I was fighting not just for my career, but for my life. Each time I stumbled, I felt the world watching, judging. It was exhausting. I learned that healing isn't linear. It's messy, it's painful, and it's filled with setbacks. But through it all, I discovered resilience. I began to understand that my struggles don't define me. They are part of my story, a story that is still being written. I may have fallen into darkness, but I'm determined to find my way back into the light. It's a journey, and while I don't have all the answers, I know I'm not alone. There's strength in vulnerability, and I'm ready to embrace it. July 24th, 2018. A date that changed everything for me. I remember the chaos, the sirens blaring, the rush of the ambulance. It felt surreal, like I was watching someone else's life unfold. I was in a dark place, battling demons that had haunted me for years. The drugs, the partying, it all spiraled out of control. When I arrived at the hospital, I was fighting for my life. I suffered multiple strokes, my organs were failing, and I experienced temporary blindness. Doctors later told me I had minutes to live. Can you imagine that? Just moments away from everything ending. The world outside was oblivious, but inside, I was grappling with the reality of my choices. I was scared, but in that moment of darkness, something shifted. I felt a flicker of hope, a whisper that maybe this wasn't the end. I realized I had a choice, to keep spiraling down or to fight back. I chose to fight. That day became my spiritual awakening. It was a wake-up call, a moment of clarity amidst the chaos. Surviving that overdose wasn't just about escaping death. It was about reclaiming my life. I had to confront the pain I had been running from, the trauma that fueled my addiction. It wasn't easy. Recovery is a journey, not a destination. I had to learn to forgive myself, to let go of the guilt and shame that weighed me down. I started to see the world differently. I began to appreciate the little things, the warmth of the sun, the laughter of friends, the beauty of a second chance. I surrounded myself with people who uplifted me, who believed in my potential. I learned to lean on others instead of isolating myself. Every day became an opportunity to grow, to heal, and to inspire. I wanted to share my story, to show others that they're not alone in their struggles. There's strength in vulnerability, and it's okay to ask for help. Today, I stand here, not just as a survivor, but as someone who has found purpose in the pain. I've turned my struggles into strength, and I'm committed to using my voice to advocate for mental health and addiction awareness. That day in July was a turning point, a moment that taught me the value of life and the importance of resilience. I'm grateful for the lessons learned, and I'm determined to keep moving forward, one step at a time. Coming back wasn't easy. There were days when I felt like I was climbing a mountain, and every step was a struggle. But I was done pretending. I realized that the only way to truly heal was to be honest with myself and with the world. I started speaking my truth, not just in my music, but in every interview, every conversation. Therapy became my lifeline. It was a safe space where I could unpack the weight I'd been carrying for so long. I learned about boundaries, about what it means to protect my energy and my peace. Faith played a huge role too. It gave me hope when I felt lost. I found strength in vulnerability, and that's when everything began to shift. Music became my outlet, my way of processing everything I was going through. I poured my heart into songs like Sober, Anyone, and Skyscraper. Each note, each lyric, was a raw reflection of my pain and my strength. I wasn't trying to be perfect anymore. I was choosing to be real. I wanted to show that it's okay to struggle, that it's okay to not have it all figured out, that in the gym I pushed my body not just to get fit, but to reclaim my strength. Every drop of sweat was a reminder that I was fighting for my life, for my future. I embraced the hard work, the discipline, and the commitment it took to rebuild myself. And then there was the recording studio. It became my sanctuary. I would lose myself in the music, creating sounds that resonated with my journey. I wanted to connect with others who felt the same way, who were battling their own demons. Now, I'm not just focused on my recovery. I'm passionate about helping others. I want to share my story, to let people know they're not alone. Every time I step on stage, I'm reminded of how far I've come. I've learned that true recovery isn't about perfection. It's about progress, about embracing every part of who I am. This journey has taught me that being real is the most powerful thing I can be. It's not just about the music. It's about the message. And I'm here to share that message with the world. Today, I want to talk about the incredible impact that public figures can have when they choose to use their voices for good. Take Demi Lovato, for example. She's not just a talented singer. She's transformed into a powerful advocate for those who often feel unheard. Through her public speeches and charity work, Demi has become a beacon of hope for many. When she speaks about mental health, addiction, and self-love, she's not just sharing her own experiences. She's opening up a vital conversation that so many people are afraid to have. Her honesty about her struggles resonates deeply with fans and followers who may be facing similar challenges. It's a reminder that vulnerability can be a strength, and that sharing our stories can help others feel less alone. Demi's commitment to mental health awareness is particularly inspiring. She has partnered with organizations to promote resources and support for those in need. By sharing her journey, she's helping to destigmatize mental health issues, encouraging others to seek help and speak out. This kind of advocacy is crucial in a world where so many suffer in silence. Her work doesn't stop there. Demi is also a fierce supporter of LGBTQ+ rights. She uses her platform to advocate for equality and acceptance, reminding us that love is love, and everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. Her activism is a powerful testament to the change that can happen when someone in the spotlight chooses to stand up for what's right. Demi once said, I'm not ashamed of my story anymore, because my story might save someone else's life. This statement encapsulates the essence of her mission. By embracing her past and sharing her truth, she empowers others to do the same. It's a call to action for all of us to be brave, to share our stories, and to support one another in our journeys. The impact of her work extends beyond just her fans. It influences the broader culture, encouraging conversations about mental health, addiction, and acceptance. When public figures like Demi Lovato take a stand, they inspire others to join the fight for change, creating a ripple effect that can lead to real societal shifts. In a world where many feel isolated and misunderstood, Demi's voice is a reminder that we are not alone. Her advocacy shines a light on important issues, urging us to listen, learn, and support one another. It's a powerful example of how one person can make a difference, and it challenges us all to consider how we can use our own voices for good. Let's take a page from Demi's book and remember the importance of sharing our stories. Each of us has the potential to inspire change, to uplift those around us, and to be a voice for the voiceless. It's time to embrace our narratives and recognize the strength in vulnerability. Together, we can create a world where everyone feels heard, valued, and loved. If you're in a dark place today, I want you to take a moment and breathe. Life can feel overwhelming, and it's easy to think about giving up. But let's take a step back and remember Demi's journey. She faced her demons head-on, and through every struggle, she emerged stronger. You see, scars don't make you weak. They tell a story of resilience, of battles fought and won. Each mark is a testament to your strength, a reminder that you've survived. You're not broken. You're becoming. Every challenge you face is an opportunity for growth, a chance to rise again. It's important to recognize that you are worthy of love, healing, and happiness, regardless of what your past looks like. Your experiences shape you, but they don't define you. Like Demi, you have the power to transform your pain into purpose. So, if you're feeling lost, remember that you're not alone. There's a community out there that believes in second chances, in the possibility of a brighter tomorrow. You have the strength to rewrite your story, to embrace the journey ahead with open arms. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to share it. You never know who might need to hear these words today. Let's spread hope and remind each other that we can rise from our struggles, just like Demi did. Together, we can create a ripple effect of positivity and encouragement. Believe in your journey and know that brighter days are ahead.